Well, hello, North Platte friends and families. We come to you today with this Sunday Spotlight featuring Dr. Ron Hansen, Superintendent of Schools for North Platte Public School District, Miss Vikki Carlson, Secondary Teaching and Learning Director, and Miss Lyndsey Douglas, Elementary Teaching and Learning Director. And Lyndsey, you're new to your role, but we always want to know, what is teaching and learning doing to help support the education of North Platte Public School students?
Well, we like to think that teaching and learning is really the heart of our district, and it encompasses everything that we do in education. So Vikki and I work together to ensure that both principals and teachers have the necessary tools and support systems to educate all of our students throughout our district.
Excellent. Now, Ms. Carlson, what are you most excited to kick off for this school year?
I think as we rolled into this school year, what we're most excited about is continuing to support and maintain in-person learning for all students. This year looks like we are back more to normal with having in-person learning, and we want to make sure that we are providing the opportunities that maybe we missed out on last school year. So whether that's extension or enrichment activities, or whether that's just maintaining students staying in school, that's what our ultimate goal is. In addition to that, we monitor very closely what happens at the Nebraska Department of Ed with our instructional standards. So this year, the English standards are getting revised. So Lyndsey and I, over the course of this whole school year, we'll be taking a look at those revised English standards and doing an alignment and adoption of resources that will help support our reading goal initiative, which is to ensure that all students are reading.
Excellent. Now, Ms. Douglas, we know that testing is always a critical piece to education assessment, making sure we're on track. Can you explain to us a little about what testing is going to look like this year and maybe some dates that families can look forward to?
Yeah, so actually this week we are starting MAPS testing, so that will start right away. And this test really allows us to make academic decisions and create goals with our students to work towards throughout the entire year. So that's a big one coming up this week already. And then another big one for this year that is new is we're administering the pre-ACT to sophomores. So that's kind of exciting and a new opportunity for them to practice, because then of course in the spring we also administer the ACT to all the juniors.
Okay. Now, Ms. Carlson, we know that family support is critical when it comes to these students being ready to take those tests while they're at the buildings. Can you give some tips on what that might look like from the home?
Absolutely. What we would like to do is encourage families to engage in conversations with their students about those upcoming assessments. Just emphasizing to the student the importance of giving their best effort, because as Lyndsey indicated, we make a lot of academic decisions for each of our students based on how they perform on those assessments. And so really encouraging their child or their student to perform their best, ensuring that the student gets enough rest the night before testing, that they eat a real good breakfast, at home, or encouraging them to grab breakfast on their way into school that day, and just celebrating with them the success that they'll have on those assessments. And generally speaking, overall, whether families are asking students to give their best effort on an assessment or whether it's giving their best effort on an in-class assignment, we really invite and encourage families to partner with us and just take an active role and engage themselves in their students' learning all over, whether it be with an assessment or whether it getting involved some way at their local school district or their local school. We just really want to encourage them to become involved.
Excellent. And families are always invited to join in with students and help support their particular students, but also others if that's of interest. And families can definitely reach out to their building administrator to learn a little more about how they can do that. Dr. Hansen, what other support does NPPS offer students to enhance their education?
Well, obviously you can see we give a lot of attention to the academic aspect, but these two ladies spend a lot of time working with our staff and our principals on the social emotional side of things also. So our students, we want to make sure they take care of themselves, they eat appropriately, they, as Mrs. Carlson addressed, appropriate amount of sleep, exercise when you can, but just making sure that there's a balanced approach here, that we're looking at the whole child. And we would just, if the healthy child is going to be is a child who's willing to learn and has the energy to do so. So there's a lot that goes into this big picture view of learning. We talk a lot about test scores, but there's a lot more to learning in the classroom, and that's making sure our kids are cared for, they're supportive, and we want all our schools safe. So there's just a lot of components that go into making sure our kids have the right environment to learn.
All right. And how can we best support each other as we move forward in this school year, Dr. Hanson?
Well, again, just, we're still in a pandemic, so we always want to make sure we collectively on the same page as far as working together. Simple things, wash your hands, again, wear face coverings when appropriate, especially in close quarters. And then obviously we want to make sure we keep our distance. We've learned a lot the last couple of years, and these little simple things we can do to keep each other safe is what we need to keep doing.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank each of you for taking time and joining in on the Sunday Spotlight today. Families and friends, if you'd like to know more about what's happening within the district, please visit our website at nppsd.org. Reach out to your building administrators, talk with your students' teachers, connect with us. We want to see you in the buildings and enjoying student learning with us. So until we talk again, stay healthy.